Pokemon Go has just announced that Mega Diancie is going to be part of the new Go Fest. So not only is our mythic for the event going to be Diancie, but its Mega Evolution will be available as well. They haven't really talked about how we're going to get Mega Diancie. It's a mythic Pokemon like, Mew, Jirachi, etc. So it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense for there to be Mega Diancie Raids. Maybe we'll get the Mega Energy through research rewards, but all we know right now is that it is coming. So in this video, I'm going to talk about just how good Diancie and Mega Diancie are for both raids and PvP metas, along with the Mega Master League meta. So starting out with Diancie here, Diancie is a fairy rock type Pokemon, just like our good friend Carbink, and sports a decent 190 attack stat, a pretty high defense stat, and a very okay stamina stat. Since it will be a research reward Pokemon, we'll be getting it at about, 1000-ish CP, so it can fit into the Great League along with the Ultra League and the Master League. This higher attack stat though does suggest that in the Great League at least, it probably won't be as impactful as Carbink unless it has a specially unique moveset. And when it comes to the current Game Master, Diancie has the same exact moveset as Carbink. Like precisely the same moveset as Carbink. So when it comes to Great League at least, probably not as great as Carbink, but this could be an avenue to a Ultra League or Master League version of Carbink. Then when it comes to Mega Diancie, we keep the same Fairy Rock typing, and we get a gargantuan hike in our attack stat, going up to 342, making it a very strong raid attacker. Another thing to note here is that unlike most Mega Pokemon, we do get a little bit of a hit in our defense stat here, so Mega Diancie does have a slightly lower defense stat than the normal Diancie. Same stamina stat, but that's what we expect from Mega Pokemon. When it comes to Diancie's power as a raid attacker, here we got the normal non-Mega Diancie, and you can see that it's not bad, but it's not exactly good either. It has a power level that's comparable to like Golem, Sudowoodo, which isn't like terrible, but we got some bigger toys to play with nowadays, so you probably wouldn't be building normal Diancie, the non-Mega Diancie, to use as a raid attacker. You'd probably be focusing on that Mega Evolution. Mega Diancie, on the other hand, is the best rock type raid attacker in the game. It has, the super high attack stat, it's got Rock Throw, it's got Rock Slide, it's got basically everything it needs to just beat down on stuff. It's got a really good TDO as well, which is a more useful metric for a Pokemon's tankiness. And yeah, of course, its overall value, the ER here, is going to be superior to other Pokemon. I will highlight, though, that the ER isn't that much better than Mega Tyranitar. Mega Tyranitar does have the higher total damage output here, so likely it will be lasting longer in raids, which means it'll provide that Mega bonus to more of its allies for a longer period of time, which overall usually gives a greater contribution to the clear time. So that is a mark for Mega Tyranitar. If you want more details on Mega Tyranitar, just came out in raids yesterday. I'll link above and description to my Mega Tyranitar analysis. But yeah, so Mega Tyranitar is a little bit better in that respect. And like I said in the Mega Tyranitar video, Mega Aerodactyl, being a sub-flying type Pokemon, means that if you're fighting a flying type raid boss, you'd get the flying type Mega XL bonus for capturing that flying type raid boss. So Mega Aerodactyl has a bit more utility in that respect as well. So when it comes to Mega Diancie, it's in this spot where it's like, it's not that terribly unique. It is very powerful, so it's going to be useful to have and very useful to bring to the fight. But you don't have to be tripping over yourself trying to get your Diancie Mega evolved. But my current theory on the situation is that we're going to get all the Mega energy from like research or something like that. So we're going to get Mega Diancie anyways, so you may as well use it. The only apprehension that you could possibly have for using Mega Diancie in raids is if you want to use normal Diancie in the Great League or the Ultra League. And before I go on talking about PvP stuff, if you're curious about Mega Diancie as a Fairy type raid attacker, it doesn't have a Fairy type fast move. So it just can't really compete with the other Mega Fairy type Pokemon. It just doesn't have the damage. It can have a really big attack stat. Moonblast is a really good move. But without that fast move damage, it's just not competing. So I think overall for raid utility, Mega Diancie could only be like specially like viable, like specially unique as a Mega Pokemon if they gave it kind of like the Weather XL bonus effect, sort of like Primal Groudon, Primal Kyogre, and Mega Rayquaza. They give the Mega XL bonus to Pokemon of the same like weather type as them. So like Kyogre, also bonuses for like electric and bug type Pokemon. Rayquaza captures the psychic type Pokemon as well. So if Mega Diancie got like a cloudy and partly cloudy effect, that could be pretty unique for it and bring some extra utility to the table. But if they don't give it like a weather kind of effect, then it's just another rock type Pokemon, another fairy type Pokemon that you can evolve for capturing Pokemon. And if you want to use it as a rock type attacker for raids, it ain't bad. But it ain't particularly like that superior, like in the grand scheme of things. But we're getting it anyways, so whatever. Moving on to the PvP side of the force, we got normal Diancie in the Great League, and it's got the same type and moveset as Carbink, but what it doesn't have is the same stat product as Carbink. Carbink has like nearly 1,000 stat product over the Diancie, so that's not a very good look for the Diancie. Now Carbink is going to be very powerful. I made a whole video, link above and in the description, talking about how Carbink's going to change the Great League meta a little bit. Diancie ain't that cool. You might be thinking, oh, we could do an ABB team with Carbink and Diancie. And I gotta just warn you guys, Diancie ain't no Carbink. It looks like a Carbink when you look at it like this, but when you look at it like stat product, no, it ain't no Carbink. And what makes Carbink so particularly strong is that it does have those hard rock, paper, scissors matchups as a rock type attacker, which has like good rock moves, and it can also use some utility with tackle and then hit stuff with the Moonblast. But for a Pokemon to really be exceptional, it also has to out-neutral things, right? And that stat product is going to help Carbink out-neutral stuff. Diancie, not so much stat product. It's sort of like why Bastiodon is a pretty big threat in the Great League, but we don't hear a whole lot about Aggron. Despite Aggron having a very similar, position as the Bastiodon, it just doesn't have the stat product. So when it comes to those tight neutral situations, Aggron's falling apart while Bastiodon's moving forward. They have the same hard counters, but Bastiodon doing it better. And same thing we're seeing here with Carbink and Diancie. This is the Aggron to the Carbink Bastiodon. So you probably won't see this too much in the Great League, aside from people showing off that they got it. Moving on up to the Ultra League, where there is no Carbink, Diancie could be the Carbink of the Ultra League, but it's not, because it's not very tanky. So we once again run into that same kind of problem with, the Aggron and the Bastiodon kind of setup. Diancie ain't the tankiest Pokemon. If you want an idea of how tanky it is, it's roughly as tanky as Swampert. Swampert isn't exactly a glass cannon in the Ultra League, but it's definitely far cry from tanky, and that's where we're finding the Diancie here. So if you line it up against a positive matchup where you can hard counter it with like Rock Throw or something, then that's cool for Diancie, and you'll beat those Pokemon. But for an overall rating, Diancie ain't looking that hot. So it is a Pokemon you could use in the Ultra League. It is a spicy Pokemon, and I don't think it really has any competition for its precise kind of role there. So you could get some good utility out of it. But as far as being like a meta-defining household name kind of Pokemon, I don't think Diancie is really going to be it in the Ultra League. So I think overall you could probably be safe powering it up for raids if you want to use it as a raid attacker, and then maybe flirt with the idea of using it in the Mega Master League meta, but I'm not too impressed with it there either. When it comes to Mega Diancie in the Mega Master League meta, it's not bad, but it's not that great, right? You can see here that its overall stat product is only 8,000, where most Mega Evolutions are going to be pushing over 10,000. So at a base, not that good. You got Mega Gyarados here, a Water Dark type Pokemon, a Pokemon that you think a Fairy type would be strong against, but more often than not, it's going to lose to the Gyarados because Gyarados has that strong Aqua Tail, which comes faster than Mega Diancie's charge moves can come. So more often than not, the Mega Gyarados is going to be subduing it, and that's before we consider, Primal Kyogre, Groudon. So the main kind of target that we're going to be looking at for Diancie is going to be the Mega Rayquaza, which is going to be a strong Pokemon in the Mega Master League meta. But what else also counters the Mega Rayquaza? You got any other Fairy type and Steel type Pokemon. You don't have to dedicate your Mega slot to countering Mega Rayquaza, because that's all that Mega Diancie, for the most part, would be doing. So not exactly that strong. And when it comes to the Steel type Pokemon that are showing up, to beat down on Mega Ray. Well, we got a Rock Fairy Pokemon here. They're going to be beating down on Mega Diancie even harder. So I think overall, yeah, powering up and using Mega Diancie in the Mega Master League meta is mostly just to flex on your opponents. Maybe if you got the Hundo, you can just show off that you got the 4,913 CP so they know you got the Hundo. But I don't think it'll be pulling you any special, unique, massive Ws. Of course, you can win with it, so it ain't 100% bad, but I don't think it's the most useful Mega on the block. And before I wrap things up here, Diancie also has a signature rock type attack in the main series games called Diamond Storm. It has a 50% chance to sharply lower the opponent's defense stat, so that could be a game changer for Diancie in either the Master League or the Ultra League, having that debuffer roll attached to it. I imagine in Pokemon Go it would be 50% chance to drop the defense stat by 2 stages, but Pokemon Go doesn't always strictly follow the rules of the main series games to a T, so we could get like a 100% chance to debuff by 1 or something like that. It could be another Feather Dance for all we know. But Diancie, that could tip the scales for it in either the Ultra League or the Master League. So I think overall I'd be a little bit cautious about powering it up in case this future signature attack were to come into its life and, tip the scales for it in the Ultra League. It'd be a bummer if you powered it up past 2,500 CP just to find out later that you probably want to keep it a little bit lower. So that's my overall recommendation for the Diancie and the Mega Diancie here. Just don't touch it. Mega evolve it for the bonus when you're out capturing Pokemon, but yeah. And if you don't care about PvP at all and you don't think you ever will care about PvP, well, now you got yourself another good rock type raid attacker to add to the mix. But beyond that, it's not looking that special unless they add a unique sort of mega bonus to it, sort of like the Primals and the Mega Rayquaza. But no official word on that quite yet. So that's about all I gotta say right now about Diancie and Mega Diancie. If you got any questions on this content, of course, comment below, let me know what's up, and I'll be happy to help you out. And if you enjoyed this kind of content, you want to see more like it, well, make sure to subscribe to SwagTips. SwagTips. I'd also like to give a special shout out to these Patreon supporters. If you want to support Swagman on Patreon, link in the description. I wonder if we're going to be getting Mega Diancie as a little secret extra surprise for GoFest. I mean, I don't have a GoFest ticket, so no skin in this race, but did Niantic forget about Mega Diancie? Who knows?